Okay, it is time for another. We're back to attack. Why did I not start with that this time? I start the videos with that every time, and it's actually like a back day, full day. Technically back day. I messed it up. We're not gonna restart. I'm driving. But what's up? We're here and we're ready to attack the back. Okay? God, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get to my groove. I was doing some computer work for the past hour, so your boys didn't have a bunch of, blood pumping. However, we do have pre-workout that I just spilled all over me because I hit a bump. So we're gonna wait to just chug that until we get to the gym. However, it's back day. It's gonna be a good day. That's all that matters. That's all that fucking matters, man. So the game plan is I kind of want to do some heavy barbell curls, man. I haven't done that in a while, and I'm just kind of itching for it. I know that's going to be like we're starting with I don't know if I really need to start with that, to be honest, because it is just like a bicep movement. I don't know. I want to because it just sounds like fun. We need to go in and burn some calories. We're in a cut. I'm feeling pretty good. Definitely want to get some kind of chest supported row as well. And I want to get some one arm rows in because I am feeling a little uneven. TBH, like uneven. And if you guys ever experience stuff like that, you need to make sure that you are doing, one-sided movements. We call this, technical term is unilateral movements. But I remember back in the day, I was working out with some guys, or I was posting a video or something. I let a comment someone said affect me training that way a long time ago. And I don't know why I let that happen. I wasn't thinking at the time. I think at the time, because it wasn't just some random person. It was someone that I, at the time, respected in the fitness community. Now I don't, because they don't do anything fitness related anymore. So again, don't listen to the naysayers. Listen to the people who are trying to do what you're trying to do. And I let that affect my whole training routine. Like I started doing a lot more like compound movements and stuff like that, which is great, don't get me wrong, but I started like slacking on the unilateral stuff, and I definitely got some uneven sides. So like my left leg's definitely a little bit weaker than my right, and that's also due to like, I think one leg is technically longer than the other, and probably due to the MMA stuff too. Like, you have your dominant sides and whatnot, and I do fight for the most part, as you guys probably seen in the boxing video, or not the boxing clip that we put in the last video, but I do for the most part try to like switch my stances up because I can. Obviously, my orthodox stance, my right-handed stance is a little bit better than my left-handed, but I can still do it pretty well, like enough to where I can switch it between and stuff. So I try to even them out, but I definitely favor a side on that part. And then it's just certain other muscles, like different ones here and there that really just kind of feel uneven. It's hard for me to really tell. Again, it's going to be easier to tell once I get through this cut a little bit more, but we'll just have to kind of go through the cut, see how it's going. I'm supposed to be getting a body fat percentage test today too. I might hold off on that and just wait another 4 weeks to go ahead and do it, because guys, you really, like with that kind of stuff, you really need to give it time, right? Like, you don't want to be, like, I say the same thing about weighing yourself every day. Like, you don't want to be doing that. It's creating some really bad habits that you do not need to be doing, because it's just going to get in your head. And if it gets in your head, a lot of times that can affect how hard you're working. And so it's something you definitely want to keep in your mind. Like, just make sure you're doing the right thing and be consistent. Like, that's one of the things I want to get into. Like, don't like see something like a change in the scale, or like I said, body fat percentage test or something like that, and let that like completely change up everything you're doing. Now, body fat percentage test is a little bit different because obviously you're supposed to wait at least 4 weeks. Longer is better. 4 weeks is a little too short, but at bare minimum 4 weeks. But some people do, like if you have access to these body fat percentage tests, like a lot of people have those like scales at home that do that for them and stuff. A lot of people, like the place I have, we have a supplement store that does them, and some people will get used to doing it every week or every 2 weeks, and that's too much. Like, you start really getting in your own head, because that stuff's going to be changing around, and the biggest thing that's going to get you results is consistency, so that you know what you need to change. And especially if you're new to this and you're just starting, like that, if you just keep changing things based off these small little changes all the time, you're going to have a really hard time, because you're not going to have a constant. Like, you need to have at least a month-long constant where you know that if you change like your calories by 200, 300 at a time, or increase your protein by 25, 50 grams of protein, that like that's actually doing a difference there. And again, whenever you're doing it just like 1 week or 2 weeks at a time, and then with weighing, if you're weighing yourself every day, one thing, when you're weighing yourself every day, like that's water weight that's changing around, and that'll mess everything up if you guys like dictate that. If you need to change your calories and protein and stuff like that, that will really mess with you, because your water will change like it can literally change 5 to 10 pounds on a weekly basis, just depending on how much water you're drinking, depending on like, how many carbs you're eating, if you're taking creatine, like how much caffeine you're drinking, if you're drinking enough water, like all that stuff affects that. And obviously working out and sweat, there's so many things that affect that. Like, that's going to switch things up. You do not need to be using the like weight as a main unit as measurement. I always tell people use body, especially if your goal is fat loss, you needed to be doing like a body fat percentage test, because that's what it's about. You want to make that body fat percentage lower because you're trying to lose fat, and a big way you can do that also is by getting more muscle. But I'm going to quit talking. I'm going to focus on trying to get some of this pre-workout in before we get to the gym, so that way it starts kicking in the middle of the workout. And then we'll see you guys for some heavy fucking barbell curls. All right, we are nice and warmed up. I went ahead and got on the cable and spammed obviously some face pulls, as always. I do that every workout now. They definitely help my shoulders. Hammer curls on the cable. Did some high to low rows, low to high rows. Just got every blood flowing everywhere. Did a few sets with the bar as well. So, I mean, they're ready to go. So we're going for 5 to 10, and we're just going to see what happens. I haven't done barbells in a minute. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Now, you guys may have noticed these last few, I like to lean over, especially when I'm starting to really get burned out, because that way I'm not going to put too much swing into it, and it gives me more leg room. So I like it. Once we get the weight up there, Bella's had a little bit more. And yes, I know I am curling in the squat rack, but to be fair, I didn't see any barbells out there that I could use for this per se, and I do too much weight for us to be able to do that. So I told y'all my biceps are just one of those body parts. Granted, I use a little bit of my traps on these, a little bit of back, which is fine because it's a pull day. It's the whole point. I hate people who say that. Like, if you're doing a pull day, isn't it good that you're using your pull muscles? I don't understand people's logic behind that. But definitely makes it a lot more compound, definitely burns a lot more calories doing it that way. If you're in a cut, it's going to be the best way to do that. If you're in a bulk, I'm not going to say not do this, but I am going to say make sure you throw in a lot more, controlled sets, like maybe using some machines, doing some dumbbell concentration curls, which I should have done those today, but this will be all I do for biceps today. My biceps are not anything I know they're going to come. They're maybe a little small right now, but it's because I stopped training them, because they kind of take over my arm, which I don't like. All right. I'm probably only going to go for 5 on this. Don't say that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's a good working weight, actually. We may stay there for another set. You guys notice, another thing I'm focusing on is power and doing whatever I can to get it up there, and then go down slow, because that's when you're going to build the most muscle anyways, is on the negative. So just make sure you guys are, if you're definitely trying to focus on either cutting and bulking at the same time, or, you know, building muscle while you're cutting, or if you're trying to bulk up, make sure you guys are getting those negative reps in, because they definitely help a lot. Or at least throw them in there, you know. My wrist is giving me some issues, so I'm going to go ahead and get my handy dandy wrist wraps out. And I don't always use these, but if my wrist starts kind of, you know, if I'm putting a lot of strain on my wrist, or, you know, as this will, because it's just heavy, but I don't use them all the time. I very actually rarely use them. Try and make sure I'm not putting too much focus on those wrists, you know, like putting a lot of pressure and tension on them. I may go easy on them for a little bit, just to, because they're aching from doing this much weight. They're not giving me troubles outside of working out, but it's usually your first time to, like, hey, take it down a notch. See if this feels better out. I think I did 11, whatever. Let's bump that weight up. Yeah, this is how I like the hip biceps. They do me pretty good, man. Like, I think a lot of people are afraid of going heavy with certain things, because obviously you need to make sure you're not going to get fucking hurt. But, like, also, you need to be not afraid of going to the next level. Because if you keep doing that, you know, the way I see it, if you have something pop up injury-wise, you deal with it. You know, do some foam rolling, do some stretching, do some rehab exercises to work on it, but don't just sit on your ass. You know, I think a lot of people just, they, you know, they get hurt, they go, oh, I don't ever want to experience that again. But listen, man, no one made it through life without getting hurt or dying, ever. So you can either sit there and wait to die, or you can go have one hell of an adventure with your life. It's up to you, man. I'm sure I'm using a ton of back there, but what we'll do is we'll do one more set, a little bit higher weight. These are definitely helping with my wrist, by the way. Just keeps everything compact, but we'll go up another 10 pounds. And as long as I'm feeling it work, I mean, I'm definitely getting a pump in my arms, which is the, you know, main directive. Which, again, next week, or not next week, later this week, I'll just do some concentration curls, focus a little bit more on middle back, beginning my workout. But I hadn't done these in a while. I really wanted to. I'd also like to remind y'all, because I know this is the part where things are going to get a little sloppy, right? Because it's heavy. But I have already hit hammer curls too, so I'll be okay. You need to have at least one lift, especially at the beginning of your lift. If you wait till the end of your lift to do like your heaviest lift, you are making a mistake. You burn up all your energy before you even get to that lift. And it's definitely, the heaviest lift is definitely going to take up the most energy, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So make sure, you know, you guys are setting up your workouts correctly. Like, what I'm going to do after this, like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of one arm, like, rowing movements. So I'm going to do, I think what we're going to do next is one arm lat pull downs, because I feel like my back's a little uneven. I think we already went over that. And then probably some one arm chest supported rows. And then I have to hit abs. You know, I definitely have to hit abs again today. I hit some yesterday, but not like rectus abdominis, more like just core stiffness. So I'm going to make sure I go ahead and, today would be a good day for the ab wheel, since we're doing pulling it in, kind of hitting those lats on the way. And probably superset that with some leg, you know, hanging leg raises. Never a bad thing to throw in them abs. Ever. Something everyone needs. Okay. Going for one more set of 10. I say 10. let's really shoot for 15. Like, I know it's a high number, but like I said, this should be like the hardest part. This should be the hardest part of the entire lift. So this would be the time to get hyped up, Chigel. Okay. That was a pull. Get up. Yeah, that's it. Sort of nervous myself start rowing that. I was like, okay, not rowing. Which, I mean, let's get a set of underhand rows real quick. Not that wide. What am I doing? That wouldn't be a bad idea. So I can feel the difference, really. I should have done that suicide grip. Huh. Because that's a lot of my biceps actually doing most of that. So that's interesting. Kind of reminds me, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of a Australian row, but it's like an inverted row, bodyweight exercise. Kind of felt like that, which is a lot of biceps as well. Maybe we'll show you guys that sometime, but I'm gonna get this rack put up and then we're gonna get some single arm stuff going. Okay, they have the music blaring in here. My goodness. I think I'm just right under the speaker, which is fine. I think they're actually technically closed right now, so they probably just set that thing on high. I know I say I don't get a lot of the things they do in here, but I really do. Like, I understand because I used to work for a very similar type of company, not the exact company, but it is funny. It's anything corporate gym is just kind of, it's a weird area, man. I've talked to you guys about that before, but we're gonna start with some decently lightweight and just kind of get a feel for it. Really trying to focus on like rotating that shoulder blade back, really pinching down. 6, 7, I hope this number's right. 8, 9, 10. Ugh, definitely felt some weird pop-a-dop-a-dop going on. What am I saying? I don't know. But ideally, next time, it's taken up right now. That's why I didn't go over there. But I want to use the like cables because I want to get like this kind of neutral grip kind of thing going on. But again, you never should. See, this one feels different. It's good I'm doing this. It feels very different. Like, I feel much deeper squeeze here. I don't know if that means it's weaker or if it's stronger and more in line. 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we're going to keep doing that. We're going to do like 4 or 5 more sets of 10 and just see like how heavy we can go with this and see how different it feels. Because I definitely feel a difference there. I'm trying to think what I'm going to do for cardio today because I don't want to do much. I might spam the bike for 30 minutes, honestly, because I would get more done in 30 minutes than obviously 15 minutes of whatever else I'd want to do, which I could do 15 minutes of rowing, which would really fucking suck. But I don't know. I kind of want to get on that something where I'm going to do it for like 30 minutes. The rower, I really should. I know. I really should. It's that kind of day. But the problem is I really want to watch some anime. That's my other issue. I like to get on the bike and watch anime or scroll through TikTok. So we might just do that. And like I said, we're going to get longer cardio in. So, hey, here's my thing. One arm, I forget. Here's my thing. You can always succumb to your excuse as long as you're willing to put in more work later. That makes sense? So, like, instead of doing 15 minutes of cardio on a rower machine, I'm going to get 30 minutes of cardio on a bike. You know? Still feeling that pop a little bit. Yeah. Like that, or what else I'll do? Sometimes I'll skip my push-ups for the day, which I've been slacking on my body weight shit. I'm not going to lie. I've been getting the pull-ups in, but everything else has been really slacking. I got to get back on that. That's more of a discipline thing than anything. It's not even really helping with this process. I mean, it is. But, you know, it not to the extent is like, I just want to like do what I'm setting my mind to do. You know what I mean? But anyways, like something I'll do is like, you know, say I was supposed to do 50 push-ups one day and I'll skip it. Go, you know what, I'll do 150 the next day because If I'm supposed to do 50 every day, well, I would just be making up yesterday if I did 100. So you got to do more. You know what I mean? So an excuse is always okay as long as you're willing to do more work than you had planned. That's the way I see it. That feels pretty good now. This, I don't know. It's just they do definitely feel different. I definitely think just doing more one-sided stuff is going to be the plan. So we're gonna pop some more weight up and see how that does us. And I'm looking down the way and I'm seeing some of that chest supported row I was talking about earlier, and I think I might get that here in a second. I like chest supported rows because you're not having to engage that lower back, even though you should be working that lower back. I mean, lower back is important to make sure you guys are hitting. But I'm not hitting deadlift today. I'm probably gonna hit deadlift later this week. So that'll help kind of hit that area. And obviously, if I decide to do some more squats tomorrow, which I might, man, I'm thinking about increasing some weight on those squats and just trying to really rep out some good weights because they did me solid. I'm not gonna lie, they did me solid. And I think I'm gonna keep doing the elevated heels. I think I'm gonna switch to a plate because that slant I have is just a little bit too much. I think it messes with my balance. But I think that like a 25-pound or 25-pound like bumper or something like that, which they don't have bumpers here, so I guess just like a regular 45-pound plate. But I think that'll help me kind of keep that balance there. Just hopefully I don't hit the racks again. That drove me nuts last time, dude. I tell you what, I about lost my mind. All right, we're at 160, by the way, if you guys are wondering what weight we're at. I'm going to hold myself down. There we go, get that down. And obviously, give yourself a good like 10-15 seconds between sides, because otherwise you're just going to burn yourself out, which is not ideal. If you're trying to get things even, you don't want to go all out on one side and leave the other side kind of gassed. You know what I mean? Unless you're trying to fix something, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Still need some more weight, so we're gonna add a little bit more weight. We'll probably make this our last set of these, and then probably move on to either the chest supported rows or like maybe like probably the chest supported rows. I threw all the weight on this stack, so we'll just see what happens. Hopefully we'll be okay. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna hold this one just to keep me elongated. No, that's too much weight. We're gonna make an audible. It's my ego getting ahead of me there. That's better. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. We're gonna go 5 on each side with this one. Yeah, it's about all my grip can take. Kind of ran that out, which I could be using a wrap right now, but I'm not gonna. Oh yeah, that felt good. Yeah, I like those. So actually, the cable rows kind of opened up. So I think that's what we're gonna go for next. Probably gonna do some one-sided stuff and then do some, compound stuff. But let's head it on over. I don't know if this will be the last exercise. Probably not. Obviously, I still have my abs. But as far as pull goes, I might go ahead and get some. I'm probably going to go ahead and get some rows or some shrugs in, because I feel like it's been like a week since we hit those, and I definitely feel like I need to work on my traps too. So we're gonna do some shrugs, and Other than that, we just got abs. So let's get some of these in. I'm gonna try and go more like neutral to underhand grip on the way. So let's stretch you out. I'm gonna go 8 on each side with this one. Starting to feel tired, I'll tell you all that. I have already had I had some Panera bread, if you guys have ever had that. Very yummy, a lot of carbs. Honestly, had a decent amount of protein, but very good like pre-workout meal. Yeah, that's going to be a good working weight with that. That's already hit me pretty good. We'll probably do one more set, like one side each time, and then I want to get a bar of some sort and go underhand grip. I really want to focus on that today, especially because that'll hit more of my lower traps, and I'm going to be working, obviously, since I'm going to be doing shrugs. Upper traps are going to get hit too, so I want to keep that balance in check. Make sure one doesn't dominate the other. It can give you some weird posture if you do. I'm actually going to drop the weight a little bit, just so I can get a little bit of a better squeeze, and we're going suicide grip. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Get a little 10, 15-second break. Chill out for a second, catch my breath, and then we'll switch this out. Yeah. Ooh, I'm getting burnt really quick. Really quick. Which is a good thing. Let me switch this out real quick though. I'm gonna bump the weight up just a tad bit. But again, I wanna keep it low enough. Because again, we did our heavy lifting already. For the most part. Like if we can get heavier for sure. But I really would like to focus on the squeeze here. I'm gonna count. I'm just gonna go. One more. Let's see. We end up getting a little bit of lower back there. So, kind of happy with that. Definitely need more weight, but I like the way it feels. Like, really good squeeze all the way through my back. Feel my lats, feel my middle back, feel my shoulder blades pinching down. Because of the underhand grip, it's easier to pinch. So, I would recommend trying it out. If you guys haven't ever done like underhand grip, I would also recommend trying it out with anything chest related too. Be careful because, you know, you definitely need to do less weight. One, and two, the grip is a little weird if you're not used to that. So I've definitely dropped some shit on myself before. So be careful, you know. But as far as like getting that squeeze you're looking for in like your chest and your back, this position is really, this or this are really the main, you know, factors that are going to affect those. Now, it doesn't mean they aren't affected when you do this. It just means your shoulder is going to help a hell of a lot because it's engaged here, right? You can actually see it compared to here. See how my shoulder rotates back and it's more stabilizing? And then from here, it's engaged. It's ready to go. And so what a lot of people end up doing, see this happen with like flies or bench press. They start really keeping it high up. That's why you see all these terrible shoulder injuries when it comes to stuff like bench press, shoulder press, all that kind of stuff. Like you keep it all tied up, and that can really fuck you up. So make sure you guys are, for one, do some shoulder warm-ups. You know, I like to do banded passovers. which you guys should know by this point if you've been watching the series. I feel like I've done them in this series. If not, I've done them on the channel at some point. I do them all the time. I do them every day, every time I work out. It's just basically where you take a band over, keep your arm straight. Just helps get the rotator cuff and shoulder warmed up before you get into it. But let's go ahead and get 2 more sets of this. I wish. I'm resisting the reps right now. I need them because my grip is what's giving out. But at the same time, no. It's going to be fine. I don't need them right now. That was a weird set. I moved like a fucking fish. I was flopping around. It was fucking sloppy and sloppy. But we got that shit in. Starting to get tired. We're about hour some change into the workout, so that's to be expected. We're gonna go ahead and get these, finish up my back, get some straps going, hit some abs, and then be to the locker room for a quick pose out. All right, workout is done. I'm gonna end up having to do the rowing machine instead of watching anime on the bike because my phone's on low battery and I need to be able to talk to y'all afterwards. But let's check out this pump. All right. I think I'm finally starting to find some good lighting in this place, which is, there's the shower area. The showers are on each side of me. So I just got to make sure I do it when no one's wanting to shower. But not looking too bad. Let's see a double bicep real quick. Yeah, the problem is that there's lighting. Instead of the lighting being right over me, there's lighting coming from 2 different sides. So it's kind of covering up some of those, good shadows that you'd want to see. But I don't know, maybe if I, try to go ahead and reduce the brightness or something, it'll help make up for it. All right, try a light spread. These are exhausting, believe it or not. If you guys have never posed, it wears you out, especially if you're pumped up. God. Oh, I'm out of it. Ooh, yeah, pretty happy with how the cut is going. Ooh, that looks sick. That might be thumbnail right there. Yeah. I came up here and there's better lighting right here because the lighting is coming down right there. So it's good to know. I just wish I don't have any mirrors in here. So I'm using the phone camera. So I have to do it this way. I can't really just set up the camera where I want because I need to, I'm looking good, but I need to be able to see myself. So I use the front facing camera. Obviously no chest pump right now. We just tore up. I say that. You can see the striations moving around in there. I wonder if I have those freaky, I think I might have those freaky chest genetics where you can just kind of control the fibers. It's just I do have a significant amount of body fat still here. So I don't know what I'm sitting at. I'm trying to debate on if I want to go to get my in-body done. Nah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient, not try and give in to the instant gratification. Yeah, look at that. See how like if I stand like this, it looks different, but when I do this, that's when my lats poke out. That's what I'm trying to work on, is that back. That's why we do those upright rows, to try and get that motion. So like this compared to that, I mean, that's what we're talking about there. So obviously still got a little bit of body fat here, and you know, it'll come. Just got to be patient. You know, next week we are increasing the calories, so that should be fun. Increasing by about 300. So hit that crucifix as always. I still don't know how to hit this. I just like to try and play around with it. I need to look that one up. That feels tight in there. I don't know. Maybe I need to do some more stretches there, but we're gonna hit this row, 15 minutes of rowing, get some stretching in, and then we'll see you guys in the car. All right, workout is done, and I am currently watching, I'm not gonna put the video camera on him or anything, I'm currently watching a cop and his drug dog. They're either playing fetch or he's looking for drugs in a field right next to the gym. Maybe someone threw out some drugs or something, I don't know. That's kind of cool. He's a German Shepherd. I love German Shepherds. I say I love German Shepherds, bro. One time, I'll tell you all a fun story before we get into the workout. But one time, your boy used to work for, a vet clinic, right? I used to be a kennel guy. And so what I would do is, take care of the animals, whatnot, and clean the cages. And one time I was helping take care of a German Shepherd, and I had to give it some medicine. Sorry, we just passed that cop and its dog. I was trying to see what they were doing. And anyways, the way I had to give it medicine is I had to literally shove medicine down its throat. Not cool, but you have to with some dogs because they'll die without it. In this case, I think it was definitely a heartworm situation, because this is a terrible fucking story. But anyways, I was giving the dog its medicine. I don't think it meant to bite me, but I think it thought my thumb was food, and it bit down, bro. Once you actually get bitten by a dog, you realize that your dogs are just playing. Like when you play with your dogs, they're play biting. You realize just how much of that is play, because that shit, I thought it felt like my thumb was in a machine that was not turning off, and I felt like my thumb was gone, bro. I started freaking out a little bit. Started cussing the dog out and everything after it was all done. And a long story short, the dog later died that night from heartworms. I felt so bad about that, bro. I felt terrible. But I'm the one that had to, bag it all. You have to bag those animals. It's terrible. I'm not going to get into it. It's terrible. It was so, the thing died in my arms, actually. It was a very terrible thing. I'm sitting here laughing about it. But that's actually, it kind of gave me an affinity towards German Shepherds. I do love German Shepherds. I think it's because of that reason. I just it just brings back that memory all the time. Anyways, let's get back to the workout. That was so fucking just off the wall and gruesome for me to get into post-workout. But yeah, man, killer back workout. I feel like we got a pretty solid pump. Very tired. I definitely want some food. I think it's also just because we did this workout way later in the day. I went to the gym way later than I was meaning to. So there's that. But we got it done. All there is to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go home, and I'm going to make some meal prep for the next few days. So what I've got in mind, I think I told y'all this yesterday. I had Alex pick up the ingredients last night, but we're doing some beef bulgogi with rice. Which, it's not like steak or anything like that. It's just ground beef with bulgogi sauce, which if you guys have never had bulgogi sauce, a very low calorie sauce. I'm sure the sodium's probably up there a little bit, but just make sure you guys are drinking plenty of water. You'll be okay. Water is the key, by the way, guys, when we're talking about sodium intake. way too many people get caught up on the sodium intake when in reality you need to just be drinking more water, because sodium is not a bad thing. Sodium is actually an electrolyte. We need it. It's a bad thing whenever you have so much sodium that it misbalances your water. Like you have so much of that electrolyte in your system that it messes with the water balance, which that's an issue. But the way you fix that is by drinking more water to help balance it out. So typically, I mean, you would have to be eating a shit ton of salt. If you're sticking to a gallon a day, you usually are okay. Obviously, I'm not telling you guys to just fucking literally be pouring salt all over your shit and everything. But, you know, you don't have to be so sodium conscious that you can't enjoy anything with a little bit of sodium. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be using that bulgogi sauce. I think it's like, I don't even know what the calorie range is on it, but I know it's not very high calorie, like compared to like, you know, ranch or something like that. So it's going to be good. It's going to be nice and salty. It's going to be very high protein. And obviously we get some simple carbs from the, you know, the rice. So very simple meal prep, man. I hate when people say they don't have the time for dieting and shit like that. Like, obviously that's like the main thing that I have to point out to people, because if you stay in that, you know, limited belief system, you're not going to get nowhere, right? Like you gotta change something. You can't be doing the same thing and expect different results. I mean, what's that old saying? Like, expecting different results but doing the same thing is called insanity. And it is. I mean, like that's basically, and that's what people do. And I get it, because it's a lot of stuff. It can be overwhelming. It's really not complicated. It's not a complicated thing. You know, you can make it complicated. You know, obviously, you know, that was one thing I noticed is like as I've got further into this career and I learned more and I understand the in-depth stuff about it, honestly, knowing more about it makes it more confusing. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of, it's not rocket science, guys. You need to stay, if you're trying to cut, you need to stay in a caloric deficit. People get caught up in all the types of food, like healthy food. There is no such thing as a healthy food. I hate that term. Like, I don't use the term healthy food, because everything, just about everything, unless it's literal fucking poison, which you shouldn't be eating anyways, usually has a place in your diet. Like, for example, like sugar. Sugar is healthy post-workout, because you're trying to, you know, it's great post-workout for replenishing your carb sources, which you need those, you know, for your next workout. So like people like to you know, use these terms like healthy, unhealthy, and it's very, very overgeneralized. Like anything can be healthy, anything can be unhealthy. You know, if I drink 3 gallons of water a day, that's unhealthy, but I'm drinking a lot of water. Like, there's a lot of people that don't realize like the benefits, and you know, they like to try and think of things, like I said, all or nothing, all the way good, all the way bad. They like to think right or left instead of being right in the middle. And I think that's what people's issue is that they're just not really thinking in their heads like, hey, like, life isn't about like things being all the way one way or all the way another way. It's like balance, man. It's all about balance. That's the key. And so once you can understand that, you start looking at things a little bit more open-minded, I guess you could say, where you're starting to try and not search for a right or wrong, but you're trying to search for truth. Okay, so the camera died. I'm sorry. That happens. But we were pretty much at the end. I just wanted to make sure you guys understood what the hell was going on, not just an abrupt end to that. So, yeah, great pool day. We'll be hitting some legs tomorrow. Can't wait to take you guys with me. So, I'll see you guys there. Peace.